Good morning and welcome to Namaste Today, a conscious way to begin every day. I'm Christopher Witecki, your humble host and spiritual life coach. This audio blogcast is for Tuesday, February 14th, 2017. Happy Valentine's Day. Namaste. Well, many love and romances out there will be affirming their commitment to each other today, and ironically, the universe is calling for yours. Step 26 rules the day, so it's time to decide where it is you belong and commit to that destination. In today's zodiac weather, I'll give you the planets and what that commitment looks like. Then later in our tea time, this week I'm doing a series about taking back our power. And today I'm going to focus on the first step of that, commitment. But first, let's take a look at today's moods and your zodiac weather. This zodiac weather is for Thursday, February 14th, 2017. Today's global prediction is sunny and relatively clear. Step 26 rules the day. It's time to decide and commit where you belong to. The moon is in loosey-goosey Libra, and Black Lilith moves into Sagittarius. Let's take a look at the planets. Well, step 26 rules the day. And if you purchase my Megascope monthly report, you always know that it's at this day I say you have to have the final commitment. 26 is the final commitment. So you might have worried all month about where you belong, but the universe is asking for your vote today. And because we're in Aquarius, we are making a commitment to some vibration or frequency in which we belong. This may happen within a family, within a job, within society where you belong, the income bracket that you belong in. But whatever it is, it sets the key tone that you will tune your spiritual instrument to for the rest of 2017. And in this particular year, looking at all the other planets, this particular belonging that you are committing to is probably higher, greater, and on a whole nother level than other years prior. Truly, you could say this is the first step toward the age of Aquarius, and that first step is today with you. Now, the power of a good commitment, or step 26, is as follows. It must feel right, step 2, and it must be fair, step 6. That's literally how the universe determines commitment, step 26. It feels right and it's fair. And that sounds like old village economics, doesn't it? There's no absolute to it. It requires that you feel through your life and you process what will be fair. And when the two come together, it's time to commit. You know exactly where you want to go. Now, the moon today is in Libra, and so emotions actually are going back and forth about what's fair and, strangely enough, what's romantic. The 6 and the moon in Libra are the same vibration. So for Valentine's Day, the universe has literally poured out a lot of good, romantic, and soft feelings. But in your personal life, this is probably for you to go back and forth about whatever it is you are committing to, or to emotionally go back and forth and make sure what you're aiming for is fair. Fair in your favor, and of course, fair in others is a good idea too. So the moon may be a little sensitive for most of the day as you're trying to find your own emotional balance. But by tonight, your date night or dinner, you should be feeling really strong, and that 8 will kick in from feeling and knowing what's fair and being able to commit. So just try to live through your feelings through the day and you'll be okay by night. Now, the other planets are in full support of this commitment in very good ways. For starters, Neptune is at step 11 today, and so is Mercury. 11 is integrity. In fact, Neptune just moved to 11 degrees here in the last couple of days, and that means our psychic intuition, Neptune, is focused on spiritual integrity. Spiritual integrity means things will absolutely heal, and so there's this deep subconscious force, if you will, this certain current underground, pushing for you to fall in integrity. So if you kind of not think about it too much, you might really fall into it, particularly today. Mercury at step 11 might make you a little obsessed in your mind about things being perfect. Just make sure they feel perfect inside to you and things will become perfect. But be careful about obsessing about the details. I can certainly see a lot of people in certain love relationships freaking out that there's enough rose petals leading to the bed. Really, try not to freak out. Just feel in integrity today. Now, one of the things that might throw off your feeling of integrity is that the moon is going to oppose Mars through the day. And Mars is in its home sign of Aries, and it's at step 13. And that means our ego is actually looking to take a step up today to have a certain breakthrough. And with the moon in Libra opposing this, this means you might be back and forth or stopping before you start, being a little reluctant to take that first step. And really you're just feeling through the safety of it, you're feeling through the balance of it. But it might create a little anxiety inside yourself today, FYI. Nothing to be worried about. In fact, that moon opposing Mars actually adds on a kind of lusty vibration for tonight, which again is great for those who are out for Valentine's Day. You'll certainly be feeling kind of your simple genetics, if you will. Now, one really cool thing that I want to report on today is that Black Lilith has moved to step 0 Sagittarius. Hallelujah! Black Lilith was in Scorpio for 9 months. It was very intense fear fighting, and we've been having fears coming up this entire year. With Black Lilith moving into Sagittarius, first of all, it means the tone of where we face fears will change. It won't be our deepest, darkest secrets anymore that we're fearing. Instead, fears will be around information, false beliefs, perhaps fears people have around false prophets and things like that. But it's all kind of philosophical. It's not super real and it's not super heavy. The other interesting thing is Black Lilith is at step 0 today and for a couple of days, and 0 means 0. It means we have kind of a go space in Monopoly. I would be thinking that people will feel fearless for the next 2 or 3 days. And that is excellent. Why is it excellent? Because today we are committing and tomorrow we are acting to move towards where we really belong. It's really nice of the universe to take the fear out of the equation while we make that change. So this week in my weekly video, Namaste Today, my theme was taking back your power. I believe looking at this belonging of Aquarius, where we do belong is taking back our power. And so for today's tea time and for the whole week's tea time, I'm going to expand on taking back our power. Go steep yourself some tea, and let's have our daily tea time. Hello, my friend, and welcome to our tea time. Today's tea time topic is part of a 4-part series, all under the umbrella of taking back your power. I don't know if you caught my Monday Namaste Weekly on video, but that was the theme I brought up, that looking at the planets, looking at human evolution, it is time to take back our power. And my argument was that our power is within us, it's not outside of us. But taking back our power is more difficult than it sounds. It takes some practice, it takes some focus, and there are a few topics I think are worth bringing up so you understand what this means. Today's topic is commitment. Commitment is incredibly powerful in our life, and it's something that I don't think we take seriously enough, in both ways. On the one hand, we make commitments to people and situations and jobs outside of us that literally result in us giving our power away. So commitments often take away our power. And also, we don't make commitments to ourselves enough, or we don't follow through with the commitments to ourselves, and as a result, we feel out of power. Remember, the theme here today is taking back your power. So let's talk about commitments and what it really is in a conscious self. How do you know if you can follow through with a commitment to yourself? Honestly, it all comes down to yourself. If you make some big promise to the world, you're really promising to yourself that you're going to get up at 8 a.m. to do it. If you make a promise to another person who is unpredictable, you're really making a promise to yourself that you'll always stand up and be able to tolerate that situation or be able to live with that situation. So really, all commitments are to ourselves. And how do we know if we can truly make the commitment? Well, this is where step astrology has opened up my eyes as far as how consciousness works. It's literally all in the steps. Step 8, which is Saturn, is decisions. That's the basis of a commitment, is a decision. And you have to have the decision in place before you can commit. You have to decide that you want something. You have to decide that you're serious. You have to decide. Step 17 is the next form of commitment. And this is really a commitment to ourself, step 17. And it comes from our heart being on board, the one, and it comes from our soul saying this is the right path. If that's the case, yes, we commit inside. But in step astrology, the highest form of commitment is actually the step going on today. And that's step 26. Step 26 is when I feel it, step 2, and I'm open to receiving step 6, then I commit, 8. The 2 plus 6 makes 8. This is the highest 8 that we see in the step astrology system. This is the highest net 8. So this means this is the biggest and most long-term commitment. So the universe says the architecture of a good commitment is that it feels right and it's fair, 6. It's something we can open up to. Now this is the surprising part to me, that a commitment comes down to what we can open up to. A lot of my thinking growing up was that commitment was something I would buckle down on, get strict with, be absolute with, like this hard kind of energy that has to come in and enforce and make sure it happens. But step astrology says no, it's what you can open up to. So think about it in these terms. What's easier to commit to? An all-vegetable diet? Or is it easier to commit to a milkshake diet? Now that's pretty obvious, the milkshake. But what the 26 energy would say is, it's because you can open up to the idea of a milkshake much better than you can open up to the vegetables. So the secret in the sauce here of true spiritual commitment is, there must be this ingredient in the commitment that it's easy for you or effortless for you to open up. And this is also known as the path of least resistance. That it will be effortless for you to do so, and the architecture of incarnation at step 26 says, that's when you commit, when you have those in place. Now, looking at step astrology and the wisdom it offers, you can also look at step 8, which is the decision, okay? It takes actually 8 steps to get to step 8, and that's how step astrology works. It tells me that there's a sequence of conscious steps everyone takes to get to the destination of what they want, which is to manifest who you are, to become who you are, and to law of attract what you are. That is our goal. And our goal is to be authentically ourselves so that we really enjoy what we get back, because what we're interested in is an awesome reflection of ourselves. Well, step astrology will lay out step by step with the consciousness of what consciously you must have for each step to be in place. So for step 8, you need steps 0 through 7 in place before your soul will feel confident about making a decision. And technically, yes, for a step 26 day, this high commitment we are at, you need 26 days of conscious step-by-step progression before your soul will feel safe to make that commitment and say, yes, I commit. But let's do it in simple terms for review today, because I know a lot of people are making commitments out there today. They're making a decision to go a certain direction. So I want to review what consciously needs to be in place according to the steps to make a good decision. The first step is step 0. Step 0 is I protect. That's literally time and space. So for you to make a decision, you have to take time and space. You have to protect this idea. Whatever it is that you're deciding or committing to has to be sacred. It has to be behind certain conscious walls. Not everything can have access to this decision. It has to be something that is kept inside you sacredly. If we don't take the time and space, step 0, to make what we're doing sacred, we won't believe in it later when we try to launch, because we know we haven't made it sacred, we haven't protected it, and our consciousness knows it's unprotected, and you almost put into the manifestation or put into the decision this lack of protection, and as a result you draw on wolves, you draw on people who take advantage, you draw on idiots that accidentally step on your exposed toe. So to make a good decision, you must protect the decision, it must be sacred. Step 1 is I love. To make a good decision, your heart must love the idea. If you don't love the idea of a milkshake diet, you shouldn't be doing it. And we can talk later about how it is we get our heart to love things that are good for us. That's another whole topic. But your heart has to love it, and that comes from having processed and knowing. Step 2 is I feel. You have to feel, it has to feel right, this commitment. There cannot be any things that feel wrong. You can't bring emotional baggage to the table. It can't bring up any emotional memory of something else. You can't make a strong decision if it's emotionally corrupt or it's not feeling good. So you have to be in it. You have to feel it. Step 3, I believe. You have to believe in this decision you're making. Believe in the commitment. Otherwise, again, a part of yourself is fighting against it. You're going to mismanifest and create chaos. Step 4, I belong. Does this commitment belong in your life? And you can look at this as those old little pictures we did as a kid, like which object doesn't belong in these 4, and you'd see like a duck and then 3 different, cans of food. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, the duck doesn't belong here. Does it belong? You can't make a decision if it doesn't belong in the context of your life, in the fabric of who you are, in the individuality of what you stand for. So it must belong. Step 5, I think. Is your mind on board, or is your mind sabotaging this decision? Are your thoughts pretty much positive for this, or do your thoughts always work against this? And it's not that your mind is right or wrong, it's that you're committing to something with corrupt thoughts, and so you're going to create corruption. Something is going in that little vibration that you are committing to. It has this uneasy, thought-filled process. So if you can't get your mind behind it, you certainly can't get the rest of your soul. Step 6, which is what we were talking about, I receive. Can you open up to the vegetable diet? Can you open up and receive from this milkshake diet? Can you open up to changing, if necessary, to make this commitment? So you must be able to receive and open up. Step 7 is I sense. And that literally means, does your soul sense this is correct? And you may not be sophisticated enough with your own intuition to know your soul says yes, but you certainly, as any animal in the woods, knowing that it's in danger, you should absolutely feel a bad dread or sense of something wrong if your soul is telling you this is the wrong path. So your soul must sign off on it too. And that brings us to step 8, I decide. If you have steps 0 through 7 in place and you answer those questions in that way, you will be able to make a decision. You will be able to make a commitment. And this is a commitment to yourself and a commitment to the world. So I invite you to use that litmus test and begin to take back your power by making a commitment to yourself. In fact, I challenge you as sensei to commit to this. Commit to feeling good every day. Commit to that. We'll move forward with how that's going to help you, but that is the perfect commitment to make to set up the foundation for your future success. All right, my friend. Well, I think this is a great time to say see you later. I do want to point out I'm having a reading sale right now. So if you purchase a 30-minute reading with me right now, you will get a 15-minute free follow-up reading. These are fantastic, particularly when you buy them at this time of the year, because I can check in with you when the planets shift. For more information, come on down to SeriousJoy.tv. There's a link on our Namaste Today page. Well, friend, have a wonderful day out there. Happy Valentine's Day. Know that I love you, and live, love, be.
Live, love, be.